Well, everyone. Happy Friday. It's October 1st, and this is the happiest day of the year. I don't know if you understand the significance of this, so I'm going to talk a little about it. I'm not going to get into the full thing today. There's going to be more later on. But as the title of this article implies, there has been a massive legal victory against Jay Inslee, Bob Ferguson, in the swamp of Washington State. I am proud to have contributed to some of this victory. And I will tell you that I believe it will be the basis for articles of impeachment against both the governor and likely the attorney general as well. And I have this link at my website, codyhart.org. You will find the formal court orders and determinations on this lawsuit. And I thought I would give people an insight because these things are not always easy to understand, the complications, the nuances of. So first, let's just look at my website. So at my website, codyhart.org, otherwise Cody Hart for Government Accountability, you will find my most recent blog is titled Legal Victory Against Inslee Requires Articles of Impeachment. And in this article, you will find that I have provided a link to a PDF that's posted on the website of the full court documents issued out of the Thurston County Court. And I wanted to first explain, I've known about this for since the 17th. I was informed, but we've been waiting for the formal written document to come out because of these matters and getting ahead of it. And I wanted to let everyone know when you read through it, it's a 6-page document. You will find the findings at the end of the document and which the court found against the state, Inslee Ferguson, on all counts that were presented to them. So let's talk about what this is about. This is a lawsuit presented by Fisheries Engineers, Paul Tappel. Paul, and a great man, and I say it right in here. I just want to say it. Well done, sir. Well done. Paul's been putting his own life energy into this, financing this lawsuit. He was right to begin with. This has been going on for a few years now, and Paul and I have, we've talked and shared information with each other for years on this lawsuit. I'm just so proud of him, and everyone in the state of Washington should be proud of him. And in the engineering community, for those who do not know, I am a licensed professional engineer. I've been in the industry for a couple of decades now, and so that's where my involvement in this gets very personal. But again, well done, Paul and Alan. This is recorded on the internet. You can hear me say it over and over if you'd like. You're the man, Paul. You too, Alan. Good job. With that said, I am not overstating it when I say, without a doubt, I believe this historic victory will be the beginning of many criminal indictments against the Inslee administration. And as a longtime target of the Inslee administration for my government corruption efforts, I will be pursuing talks with members of the state legislature to draft articles of impeachment against both the governor and attorney general. Understand the significance of this. So what this is about, everyone, is fraud. That is what the basis of this really comes down to. And there were frauds committed against Paul, which financially devastated him. I believe that everyone in the state knows this was happening. And so when you read the document, you'll get the gist of it. And I will explain it to you here a little more personally than what you'll get out of this document. So what's been happening over the last several years and been just grossly happening under the Inslee administration is that we have, I believe, somewhere in the 6,000 state employees who have been indicating that they're engineers to the public, to the legislature, to mayors, county commissioners, and they have engineer in their title. They're being paid at engineer scales. And let me explain to people something that's very basic and that most people understand. You can't just say you're an engineer in this industry and provide professional consulting. You can't advise legislators. You cannot determine funding allocations. There's engineers are involved in most of the infrastructure projects in this state and across our nation. And you can't just do that because you say you want to be an engineer. You have to prove some competency. You have to take ethics exams. You have to be subject to peer reviews. And that is what was really at stake here. The state of Washington, Jay Inslee, and many Jay Inslee appointees. I want to point that out to everyone in the public, why Jay Inslee is so at fault here, and why articles of impeachment are almost certain for any of the legislators who have any backbone at all and aren't just talk, because Mr. Inslee and Ferguson knew these laws. They were appointing political partners into these engineering positions, making decisions about our infrastructure, oversight of engineering activities across our entire state, and the allocation of billions of dollars by people who were not bound by ethical boards that are required under state law to be as an engineer. They're not required. They had no proven competency. They wouldn't pass a single test that I've had to pass and other licensed engineers have to pass, which they are not easy. Let me just tell you that now. Much like a lawyer has to pass a state bar and a doctor has to pass a medical exam, engineers have to pass their engineering certifications. These appointees of Governor Inslee and state employees have had to prove no competency at all. And I've told people repeatedly, that is why you should be very hesitant to trust many of the government engineers out there, because they are not actually licensed. They have not proven their competency, and they are making decisions with tax money that they aren't qualified to make. And that's what's been going on. And they've been doing it on purpose. They could hire licensed engineers. They haven't been doing it. And so we have to just deduce that the reason behind that is because they want an outcome that licensed engineers wouldn't allow. Their ethics would not allow certain decisions to be made. So these politicians, Inslee and Ferguson, they wanted to make sure people were in power in these roles of administering our infrastructure projects that would do what they were told and not what the industry ethics and knowledge would mandate they do. And so I will just point that out to everyone, and I'll stop ranting here, but understand your infrastructure system would never be fixed if they continue down this path. It would be perpetually a problem. They would have political projects be awarded funds and not engineering decisions by qualified people for our bridges, our roadways, and throughout our entire state, every piece of infrastructure. So if you can't tell, I'm very passionate about this. This is a massive problem of government corruption. And this looks like we've got the beginning of legal foundations to correct what's been going wrong and correct the billions of dollars of fraud under the Inslee administration that the Ferguson has been colluding with and contributing to, that's resulted in the fraud of billions of dollars of state and federal funds. So if I get a little energetic here, understand the significance of this. As I said, I'm going to go talk to the members of the legislature, and I'm just going to say this out loud. We have had a lot of wolves in sheep clothing in our legislature, pretending to be people that are not. This is an opportunity that everyone can hold them accountable. It does not matter if you are a Democrat or Republican. This is proof of fraud that the government was committing under the direction of political politicians that corrupted the system for their benefit, for their political benefit, for the benefit of allies in private industry. This is the beginning of this, in my opinion, and I will just tell you, I'll accept nothing else as an answer except for articles of impeachment. And I expect everyone out there who wants our government to be held accountable will expect and demand those articles from their legislature. And that's what I'm going to ask everyone to do. This is the basis for it. It has they should be in prison. And I will tell you that now. These people should be in prison who have been doing this. So I can't think of a better way to start October. This is one of the best days of the year so far. The next best day is when I see these dirt bags locked up. So I hope you guys join me in this and push your law enforcement and your legislature to move forward with this and get rid of these corrupt government officials who've been abusing their powers and abusing the system.